Hopefully no one's going to GG out 2 minutes in. Welcome back to Bronze League Legends. We go again. To a different map this time, though. We're going to be heading into Four Lakes. We had a lot of Four Lakes a few streams ago, but haven't seen much of it since. This, of course, is not the Four Lakes that is loved amongst the pro community. This is the adaptation for the rank pool, where sometimes you don't even get 4 sacred sites spawned in each island. Sometimes you just get a giant mountain on one of them, but we don't have to worry about it here. And we've got Little Prince, who is 576 elo. They play a decent amount of games. They're playing as the Roost. Roost definitely a very solid pick on a map like this. Has always been considered the king of Four Lakes because of how easily they can manipulate all these deep water fish in different ponds. Meanwhile, on the other side, we've got Alphanet XM. Alphanet is 442 elo. So they have about 100 elo between them in terms of the gap. Alphanet plays a lot of French, but Prince is very familiar with the Roost. Now, I'm curious to see if we're going to get a lot of kind of back and forth feudal aggression here with any fishing. Because we are currently almost 2.5 minutes into the game, and nobody has moved out onto water. And this is like, it's fine. This is kind of a regular thing. It's like, you know, a lot of these players will kind of look and like, dogs. I don't have to worry about that. I mean, I'm already having my villages like idle for 5 or 6 seconds before I decide what I want them to do. You want me to try and decide what a fishing boat should do? Too much. Too much. Instead, Little Prince actually goes out with the deer and builds a hunting cabin. That is rare, because Roost pay 100 wood for these. And Little Prince has discovered that he needs more wood. He also needs some extra sheep, so if Alphanet's going to give it to him, no! Oh my god, Prince. He chased instead of garrisoning. That would have been a nice big snipe. Getting rid of the scout is really good at this stage of the game, but not able to do so. Instead, Little Prince is going to go for the Kremlin drop. And from his perspective, does he know? No, he doesn't know exactly where Alphanite's base is, but he knows it's close. So Purple is making an aggro Kremlin drop. I think they're assuming the base is like here. They could actually go deeper, and they should have went deeper. If they dropped it right here, with 13 villages, they would have got it. Instead, they give someone a little bit more defense. Now, the way that Little Prince can play this now is you get a lumber camp, which you can't afford. Soon you'll be able to afford the lumber camp. Once you can afford the lumber camp, you can set up here. You can gather what you need and win a Fortress Rush. We'll see if they go for that. For now, they're gathering on the berries with no way of dropping it off. No, no, Prince. No, 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 please. Please. Prince. The scout did finally die, but the sheep get back home without their master. And Alphanite's going to react with an outpost because he now knows about this Kremlin. Oh my god, I can't believe they just ran across the map. Those must have been the most premium berries you can buy. They must have tasted like God birthed them himself. This is just the next level play, guys. You put the Kremlin there to deny resources, and if he ever gets them, now he's going to be missing an extra 130 food from that berry bush. Little Prince is the little king right now. So now, after placing the Kremlin on the other side of the map, he's going to gather wood on the opposite side of the map to the Kremlin. Because, you know, the Kremlin, this is a very official place. It should be far away from where the peons work, where the lumberjacks are. And Alphanite, he's only built 3 knights so far. So he hasn't really built up his means to assault this Kremlin. So it's kind of surprising he even tries. I thought he might have tried to wrap around because right now Little Prince is exposed, but Spiminar on the way. Jax asks, do you do any casting of gold plat games? I think I've cast 1 or 2 gold ones. There's loads of content that focuses on pro level, low elo, but not really anything showing gold games, even though majority player base is goldish. I think I would dispute the fact that there is a lot of content focused around low elo. There actually isn't. So I started a series called Bronze Barbarian a while back, but like it just didn't feel at the right time. Drongo done like 3 or 4 of his Bronze Boomer games. And then recently Merlin like cast 1 low elo. So I'm basically like the only one doing low elo games right now. That's not to say we won't ever do gold kind of plat stuff. I'm definitely open to exploring that. I think that's more a case of like on on posts. If people can, like, post interesting replays, I might check them out. But I think low elo is quite interesting because when we're watching a lot of bronze and silver, and the cool thing about that is that you get to see clear areas of improvement that can be highlighted in the games. We get to have this kind of nice little bit of fun where you can, you know, we can tease a little bit, we can laugh about the funny things that happen, but we can also educate. And it allows those players that if they ever catch that to know where they could improve. But I think the other cool thing that people really like about low elo games is it allows us to really feel better about our own gameplay, if we're being bluntly honest. So we're vibing right now. Little Prince has set up the marketplace, and it looks like he's going to be trading. Wait, was this part of the plan all along? Oh my god, this was the plan. Prince, it wasn't Kremlin rushing. He was protecting the trade. Now that I did not see coming. So Little Prince is a little trader. And so it begins. This is going to get him probably about 40 gold-ish, maybe 45. It's not a bad length for the map. But Alpha Knight can snipe it at multiple points along the route. Let's have a look. It's going to be 46. Okay, so 46 is a respectable number. But it's going to take a while to pay off. And I think Alpha Knight is going multi-TC, which I like a lot more here. If Little Prince gets this tech uptime, though, it's going to make him pretty strong. Like, it's quite surprising how far ahead he is until you realize that Little Prince is 10 eco units ahead. So Alpha Knight, especially as the French, clearly wasn't mass-producing villages all the time. He had some gaps. Because as we know, hitting Q can be really intense sometimes. Especially if your shift key doesn't work. Because, you know, you might have sticky keys turned on. So maybe Alpha Knight is like a single press gamer. He has to come back, press it every time. And he has got knights, right? He's microing knights. And this is one of those tough things. Like, you lose one knight, you feel the pain of it. 240 resources, right? So you really do kind of micromanage these. And it's very difficult to do multiple things at the same time. We've seen how easily these players can get distracted. Like, we've all been there ourselves. We're like cats with a laser pointer. You think that you're really focused, and you look really cool, and all of a sudden you're like, red light. Really feels like a permanent red light with this Kremlin here, though. No green light go until Alpha Knight does get into the ram, which is on its way. But Little Prince is on his way up. So High Trade House is going to... Ah, yes, of course. The classic High Trade House optimal placement for farms. As I would expect. What? I have never, in easily over 1,000 hours of caster games, ever seen a High Trade House like this. That is the world's first 0 gold High Trade House. He actually had to work. He had to go out of his way to not place it next to a tree. And you're all right now like, why would he do this? What the hell? Guys, chill. Think about it this way. 90% of axe-wielding murderers murder near forests. Don't have to worry about that here. If you will actually also build this near a forest, there's a chance that the deer sneak off into the forest and you lose them. Doesn't have to worry about that in an open field. This is just basically like owning cows. Nowhere for them to run and hide. Meanwhile, Alpha Knight is done hiding. He's coming out to play. The Rams are knocking on the door of the Kremlin. I'm attacking. Oh, I'm attacking. Oh, I'm attacking. Okay, yeah, I'm actually attacking, guys. Let's go. Woohoo! That Ram gets a participation ribbon. Little Prince. How many traders are we up to now? 4. All this for 4. And no, people, there is still no water. I gave up even bothering to look. Wait, what? 19 minutes dock on 4 lakes. 19 minutes. And it's not even the Roost player. What? And he just set up farms. And he has enough to go for TC and he doesn't. Wow. So Alpha Knight will eventually just be better off than Little Prince because of these fishing. If he starts to build fishing boats. Imagine, just hear me out though, folks. Imagine if this is simply about getting sacred sites. Please. Please no. Keep in mind, Little Prince is a whole age ahead, though. He's still very strong. This trade is not strong, though. 46 gold is not impressive at this stage of the game. Especially considering that he's not scaling it. He's at least getting to Warrior Monks. So he built the monastery separately. But the Warrior Monks, because they have Warrior in the name, you wouldn't want them to go off and, like, do eco things, right? Like, pick up relics. That's not very warrior-ish. So instead, the Warrior Monk gave in to peer pressure. Jonathan was meant to be the reclaimer of the lost relics of the Orthodox Church. But instead, Thomas came by. He saw the men-at-arms drinking. And went, I bet you can't drink as much as we... And he peer pressure. He got peer pressured in. Little St. Thomas, instead of going on his grand crusade to recover the lost Ark, decided it was more important to drink some risky beer. And that is all that Thomas will do now. That's why he'll never be a saint. He heard me. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm going to lose my sainthood? Bro, that ain't happening. I'll fix this. So relics are being picked up. Army is massing. Alpha Knight is building up the trio, though, and it looks like Little Prince is going for a men-at-arms play. So this could fail. But he has got a lot of ramps. This is a very spooky force that the Roost players put together. Alpha Knight has an uphill battle ahead of him, especially considering he doesn't have production. Look at this. Double stable and archery range. That's literally it, folks. That's all he has. Now, he has got arrow slit outputs, which will definitely help a lot here. If Little Prince goes now, he wins. If he waits, he's offering up an opportunity for Alpha Knight to get ahead, because look at what's happening now. Alpha Knight went for docks on both of the lakes. His food, although pathetic right now, is going to boom past Little Prince. Little Prince, who has to set up farms soon. He's out of food. Or he goes docks. We are on 4 lakes. It is 24.5 minutes in, and we have our first Roost dock. And Bronze players love their eco upgrades. What does he do? Alpha Knight pumps out 1 fishing boat and then immediately queues up extended lines afterwards. Extended lines, which, by the way, was already taken by Alpha Knight. But no horticulture. What? Oh, yeah, that has to be a first. He got all the other techs, but he didn't get Horti. This is something very interesting with the Bronze League Legends, by the way. They always get the eco upgrades. Check all of them. Every single eco upgrade imaginable. They just get them. It's like a fat kid with cookies. Can't resist. Things that are getting fat, by the way. I think Little Prince is ready to go. He's marching in. Wait, he sends the torches onto the outpost. Alpha Knight will counter this. Knights, they're humping each other instead of fighting right now. This is not time to breed. Arbitrary and Archers trying to hold behind this, but it's just too much for Alpha Knight to match. Keep going Alpha Knight. I think it's because he's got Knights. More Alpha Net. Rams are in, though. And, folks, this is looking grim. All the landmarks are on one screen. Alpha Net has nothing. Little Prince, I think he's done it. And guys, I can tell you for a fact, the reason why Roost won this map, it was the fishing. 4 lakes fishing, 2 OP for Roost. Oh dear, oh dear. Poor AlphaNet, man. He looks so set back, kind of perplexed by the Kremlin. I think the interesting part is, like, AlphaNet had the right idea going to fishing. I just don't think he had the production. He could have went cheap production as well. Like, if he gets a bunch of spearmen in that mixer, he just gets a cheap front line, I think there's a world in which he can hold, but definitely a very big build for Little Prince. And it's not just that was a 0 high trade house landmark game. It's that it won.